Valentine's Day by Lor Vanden. She's ready and waiting by the time I knock on her door. Although the Whisper Oaks care home allows residents to come and go as they please, I still have to inform the ladies at the front desk who I'm taking out. I'm convinced my Gran has managed to bug it somehow. I'm barely down the hallway when she's exiting a room, bag across her forearm and cane in her hand.
"You're late,"
she says, approaching me at a concerning speed. I'm not. I'm right on time.
"If you're not early, you're late,"
she says. She stops in front of me and tips her head up.
"Hello, love. Thanks for coming to get me."
I plant a kiss on her cheek and take her by the arm. Her bag is one of those exceptionally large ones that are primarily full of a wallet, a checkbook from a bank that has long since closed, receipts, and a startling and expansive variety of boiled sweets, both wrapped and unwrapped. "Ready to go?" I ask her. She doesn't say anything as we make our way to the lobby, giving a brief tug. She leans around me to look at Sadie, the young nurse working at the front desk.
"Hello, Sadie. Anything for me today?"
"Oh, hello, Mrs. Pengarden. Yes, actually, perfect timing if you ask me." She leans down, disappearing for a moment, before re-emerging with a manila envelope. I take it from her and hand it to Gran. "What is it?" I ask, and as Gran tears the envelope and looks inside before storing it away in her handbag.
"Something I've been waiting for,"
she says before tugging on my arm.
"Any news from your mum?"
I shake my head. "No news. Sounds like he's the same as yesterday." I realise the impact of my words and look down at her. But maybe today will be different. After all, it is Valentine's Day. She looks up at me then and smiles.
"You're right. Maybe today will be different."
She pats her bag and says,
"Well then, let's go."
It's about a 25-minute drive across town to the Elm Grove care home. My mum and sister Lily are already waiting and open the door as soon as I knock gently. Grandad is sitting in his armchair by the window. I still remember how heavy that thing was as Lily and I fought to get it up the stairs and into his room. One of the nurses had suggested it. A familiar thing that Grandad knew to help the transition. Help steady his mind and anchor him to the new place. It was one of the first pieces of furniture he and Gran had bought together for their new home, fixed with every break and reupholstered with each passing trend. This last rendition has lasted the longest. Brown leather, now cracking with age, and a spring broken through the bottom, scratching the floor with each descent Grandad makes to sit in it. Grandad's eyes are empty, staring out the window. I don't know if he really sees anything anymore. Mum comes over to me immediately. She's obviously tired but still trying, hair pulled back with a muddy brown clip, little hearts with too much enthusiasm dangling from her ears. She's got me by the arm before I can greet her. "Ben, sweetie, there you are." I'm not sure how this is going to go. They had to medicate him again already this morning. He kept trying to take another resident's Zimmer frame. Insisted it was his. Turned violent, pretty nasty too, from the sounds of what the nurses are saying. Mum's trying to talk quietly, but at her last statement, my sister rolls her eyes. Mum opens her mouth to say something else until her gaze fixes behind me. She's only now just realised that Gran's in the room. Quickly, she rearranges her expression into sympathy. "Hey, Mum. You look nice." She gives Gran a gentle squeeze, minding the cane. "Everything okay?" Gran gives her a proper nod.
All fine, dear.
Then she looks past Mum and sees Grandad, who, despite all the recent activity, is still staring calmly out the window. Gran thumps her way across the floor before anyone can offer to take her coat. She stops when she reaches the chair, and I slowly move to the side to get a better look.
"Hello, my love,"
She says. When he doesn't acknowledge her, she speaks again, a little louder this time.
"Lovely afternoon, isn't it, Morris?"
He blinks at that. Then slowly, as though coming out of a fog, he turns and lifts his gaze up to her. It takes a few blinks, and his cataract-ridden eyes squint for a moment, but slowly, he responds.
"Hello,"
He says. It's a long moment before he speaks again.
"Are you here to fix my television? It's broken, you see."
He lifts his hands like they're cement and points to the box with a gnarled finger.
"Can't get a decent picture anymore."
Mum fidgets like she might say something, but Lily puts her hand on her arm. Gran smiles at it.
"No, but there's nothing decent to watch anyway."
Grandad lets out a rasp at that, which I suddenly realise is meant to be a chuckle.
"True," he says, "but I rather like that fellow. What's his name? Mitchellmore. That's it. Cliff Mitchellmore. With the glasses. Has a good face."
Gran smiles at him.
"But he's not been on television anymore, dear. Hasn't been for a long time." "Really? Oh,"
He says, frowning.
"well then, I don't want it. I don't want anything." "Morris, I said no. You said you're not here to fix the television, and I can't watch it. So here, take the blasted thing with you. I don't want it. None of it. You hear me? If you can't fix it, then I don't want it."
The words echo up the walls, and the air feels hollow now. I look across the room at Mum and Lily and see my own expression mirrored. None of us know what to do, just like the first time. I was in my 20s the first time I heard Grandad yell like that. His daily newspaper hadn't arrived, and his annoyance grew to anger, blowing up into rage. Phone calls were made, threats and insults hurled, all for us to discover that he'd stopped getting the paper 2 years earlier on account of having a dislike for the new editor. I look at Gran. Her expression is unreadable, like it has been for most of my life. Mum looks like she wants to reach out to her. Maybe this was all pointless after all. Maybe he is past the point of no return. Good days were already being beaten by bad days before we were forced to move him here, when they had no room for Gran as well, when the thing that kept him balanced was kept away. The bad days won. I'm debating whether or not to interfere when Gran looks up at me. Her eyes are wet, but her smile is warm. She holds out a cane to me. Confused, I take it. Reaching into a large handbag, she pulls out the folded manila envelope. With trembling fingers, she reaches inside and extracts a pamphlet. At least, it looks like a pamphlet. The once white paper has colour to yellow, but the blue lettering remains striking against the page. I'm about to ask what it is when she returns the envelope to her bag, straightens and takes a step forward. Then, without saying a word, she opens up the pamphlet on his lap. Carefully, she starts to bend down. I try to move to her side, but she waves me away. I can practically hear her spine groaning as she gets on her knees, her hands finding the armrest like the railing of a church pew. His head is turning now, to his lap, to the woman on her knees beside him. With shaky hands, he picks up the pamphlet. His eyes blink once, twice, and then I see it. It's slight, but it's there. Recognition. Gran must see it too, because she gently nudges the paper.
It was the 9:15 to Morley. I was on my way to see my brother.
Grandad grips the paper. I can see now that it's a train timetable. He blinks at it again and holds it closer to his face.
You were going to visit your aunt in Leeds. We talked the whole journey.
She winces but continues.
You wouldn't let me catch a taxi. You insisted on walking me to my brother's. It started to rain, and by the time we got there, we looked like a couple of drowned rats.
He's looking at her now, listening. She continues.
You wouldn't leave until you had my brother's telephone number. You called me every day when I was there, and when I took the train home, you came back with me.
She lets out a little laugh.
Even though you couldn't stand your aunt, you stayed with her because you wanted to take the train home with me. She used to make me listen to those awful radio shows with her. And you were the most beautiful woman I'd ever.
He trails off as he looks at her, really looks at her. And suddenly his face changes. A smile that I thought was gone spreads across his face, his eyes wide.
Edie?
Her smile widens to match his.
Hello, Morris.
He embraces her, and her body stiffens in discomfort. Grandad must notice too, because he immediately lets go and gives her a proper once-over.
Good heavens, love, what are you doing on the floor?
He looks up and around the room and sees us too.
For God's sakes, don't just stand there. Get your grandmother a chair.
I move to grab a stool as Mum and Lily rush over to help Gran off her feet. Slowly, we lower her as Grandad starts rocking in his seat. As if reading his mind, Gran puts her arm across his chest.
Oh no, love, please don't get up. The stool will be just fine.
He succumbs and returns to his seat as we resume our standing posts. Mum's digging through her bag until Lily hands her a tissue from her pocket. I sit down on the nearby settee, affording me the perfect view of my grandparents. Grandad notices my movements but pays no attention, his gaze quickly returning to Gran.
So, how are things? How are you?
She pats his hand like I've watched her do countless times before.
Just fine, dear. Just fine. And how are you doing? Good. Good. And I'm sorry that I have to ask this, but
He says, trying to lower his voice.
what day is it?
Gran smiles.
It's Valentine's Day, dear. Valentine's Day? Good heavens.
He claps his hands.
I suppose I should have got you something then. I'm not a very good husband, am I?
Gran makes a sound at that, something born of a chuckle and a cry.
I suppose not.
He pats her on the hand.
You'll have to forgive me, my girl. I promise I'll make it up next Valentine's Day. Just like the old days, I'll give you flowers, chocolates, wine, dancing. I'll be a complete Casanova.
He grins and takes her hand.
I promise, Edie, by next Valentine's Day you won't even recognize me.
Gran doesn't answer that. Instead, she puts her head on his shoulder, and they both look out the window together.
Lovely afternoon, isn't it, Morris?
Yes,
Says Grandad.
it